best decision that I made was to step back.
What the fuck made you think that you could do this?
We've lost almost like $1 million of my dad's money.
What does it take to give a supermarket or a grocer's cultural cachet?
Everybody thought I was nuts. Like it's not gonna work.
You stood on that trading floor and you IPO'd for $2.5 billion.
I had much bigger plans for Gourmet that, weren't achieved.
Funny story, actually. Although at MO4 we had worked with Gourmet a lot over the years in different guises, I never actually met Jalal, the founder. And then a few months ago at a party in Cairo, I finally got introduced to him and we hit it off immediately. It turns out that we both actually studied at the University of Austin, very different times though, obviously, because I'm so much younger. But we had a lot of fun chatting. I got some really crazy insights on this incredible gourmet trajectory. And he told me all about the new project that he's working on, which is called Lab 101. And that's actually where we're on our way to right now at District 5, where I'm gonna get hopefully all of the behind the scenes secrets on this incredible success journey. And more importantly, find out what keeps him up at night. I'm so excited we're doing this finally.
Hey, come on in. This is Lab 101.
Okay.
This is our new baby.
I'm just saying so slim, Jalal.
What are you talking about? I'm sucking it in. What we wanted to do is create a space where we can innovate,
Smoked lemon؟ ما اعرفش اي حته في مصر قالوا لي smoked lemon قبل كده.
where we can train,
والله انا ما اعرفش على فكره، انا ما بخشش المطبخ اصلا.
inspire,
ده أول مرة
اول مره سموها على اسمي بقى.
and do lots of things and have fun.
We all just
Yeah.
deserve joy.
Sometimes we have classes for baking or chocolate making, and anybody can attend those classes. And then of course we've got like our B2B customers that want to innovate a product. I will not sell ice cream, but I will show you how to make that
How
ice
to make
cream
the ice
and tell you all the ingredients
Okay.
to make that ice cream.
This is okay. Are you ready to sit?
I'm ready to sit.
Are you ready to do business?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to take you right back to the very, very beginning. You grew up in Kuwait.
I did, yeah.
Right. And tell me a little bit about that upbringing. What were the things that you would be rewarded for? What would you be punished for?
I was always punished.
Okay.
Driving the car when I was like 12.
Okay.
I didn't know how to park it properly. I didn't think I'd get caught.
Never ask
For
for
permission. Forgiveness is much easier.
So you were a rebel min awilha?
Mish rebel, but it's like, I pushed the boundaries.
So you studied civil engineering. Was that because your dad was an engineer?
I don't know why I studied civil engineering. I just basically scraped through university. I got a job in the company that my dad was a very senior executive of. I came home one day and said to my dad, look, thanks for getting me the job, but I quit.
What did he say?
And he said, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I think I want to be a businessman.
So you started the meat business, and you're exporting from Australia to the Middle East.
To the Middle East and to the world, actually.
Why did you decide to leave Australia and
I didn't
come
leave
back?
Australia.
Okay.
I had an uncle who had a restaurant.
Right.
So that's the food industry.
Hina of Mosque.
Hina of Mosque.
Okay.
My dad has a bit of money. He's retired.
Right.
And I want to sell meat. So we said, okay, we'll start a little company. It was called AM Trading. We've lost almost like $1 million of my dad's money. That $1 million was also going to bankrupt me in Australia because it was, I'm going to be out of the meat business.
Right.
And I went to Guna to
party.
not to party, to be depressed on my own.
Okay.
And I wasn't talking to anyone. And then this guy, John, was like, hi, I'm John. And we started having a chat. He's like, what do you do? I said, I import meat from Australia. I should have said, I used to and I'm bankrupt now and I'm looking for a job. He said, well, I'm opening the first 4 seasons in the Middle East.
Which was the first residence site.
Which is first residence, and we're looking for a meat supplier. We haven't found a
Right.
meat supplier.
And that opens the door, and then you become the premium meat supplier.
And then within a year, I'm supplying everybody.
So I hear back in the day you would host all of these barbecues that were quite infamous.
Yeah.
And you're getting high on your own supply of
Yeah.
really nice meat.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Right? And all of
Totally.
your friends are like, oh my
Totally.
God, this meat is amazing.
totally.
We want a piece of that action. Where
Yeah.
can we buy this meat?
Yeah.
And you realize the kids want meat.
Yeah, exactly. So I started, just did a little flyer, taking orders, over the phone, and we're selling, frozen shrimps with no branding, no nothings. And we're selling all the different cuts of meat that we supply to hotels. So I said, I got to make it a separate company.
About 2 years later, you decided to start your first shop. Obviously, you have a tremendous amount of trading experience, but you had zero retail experience, Jalal.
Yeah, zero.
So what the fuck made you think that you could do this?
But I mean, that's how people do business, like they do things they don't know and they learn it.
So this was really interesting. I think I told you the story when I met you in Kazuko. I was invited to a barbecue. Funnily enough, barbecues keep popping up. At a very high, but a very high-profile businessman's house.
Yeah.
And his wife kept saying, the meat is from Gourmet. The meat is from Gourmet. The food is from Gourmet. And you got to remember, I've just come from the UK. And I can't even imagine a situation being at a barbecue in London and someone telling me they got the meat from Tesco's.
Exactly.
You know what it's not a fashion brand.
No.
It's not a restaurant. It's not a watch. What does it take to give a supermarket or a grocer's cultural cachet? When did you realize that had happened, and why do you think that happened?
From the very beginning, we had such an impact on people's lives.
Right.
Meat was the biggest part of the business, but then I used to get all these like farmhouse cheeses from France and Italy, all these like fantastic mustards and sauces and and pastas and truffles. In those days, because importation was much easier, even though it was difficult, but
So why did no one else do it?
Because you have to be a bit crazy, everybody thought I was nuts.
Sure.
It's not going to work. In the early days of my business, I was up all night. My wife used to tell me, I can hear your brain, chugging and clanking, and I was a 100% import business. So everything I sold was imported. And so of course the rules kept changing.
I think if I'm correct, this was around 2015?
15, exactly.
Right? So it was around 2015.
You had a good memory.
I lived that too.
Yeah.
And the devaluation screwed us too. And so I think it was around 2015. Of course, you had all of this economic kind of mess and disruption. And I remember listening somewhere that you had said that you really felt like the ship was sinking at the time.
It was.
What does that look like? Like on a day-to-day basis, when you say something like the ship is sinking, what did that look like for you?
You look at what you sold, and you looked at the margins that you sold them at, and you was like, okay, if these products are not available, if you're going to go and buy products from the market and sell them, your business model is not viable. You will not be able to compete with large, retailers selling the same things. So if you don't have a curated portfolio of products, what's the reason to come and shop there?
And when you're there staying up at night thinking about how to navigate this crisis, what were you most scared of losing, Jalal? Was it money? Was it reputation? Was it a sense of identity? Because people get very connected to the businesses.
I think in the end it's money, because
This is where I go wrong, because I never think about the money.
It's the money. No, the money.
Prestige.
Well, here the prestige is going to go anyway. You ain't going to keep the prestige without the money. So,
without the money, true.
So, and then we went from one crisis to the next. It wasn't like, it was just one crisis.
And that was just 3 years after the revolution, or like soon after the revolution?
Yeah. But at that time, our partners had this big, brand new food factory. That was Wadi Digla. And so they said, do you need it? And we were like, that's going to save us.
Okay, so you took on an investor there in order to start.
They did a capital increase and they bought like 40% of the company.
Did you feel you lost something other than equity?
You couldn't have grown without the money, and I didn't have the money.
Right.
There's no upside in having that conversation with yourself.
So,
In
2018, you obviously take on this big investment. Things are going great. 2022.
Yeah.
You removed yourself from your executive role.
That was a difficult 2020, 2021 and 22 were difficult years.
Really?
We opened a lot of stores. We did them at a very high standard. I probably spent more than I should have.
Okay.
It's probably a mistake, but it wasn't too big of a mistake. But then several things happened and all at the same time. There were further restrictions on importation and we had the devaluation. Okay, so income
get another one.
So the income that you were planning to make didn't materialize, but the expenses were there. And so that became unsustainable. The best decision that I made was to step back.
But Jalal, I don't understand. You stepped back because you felt like at that stage of the company's trajectory, someone else would be better positioned?
Maybe a different set of skills were
Right.
needed at that stage of the company, and I was probably right.
Did you feel pressure to step away?
Of course,
From?
but even pressure from myself.
Outside pressure was coming from where?
I mean, my partner, private equity, they want to see profits.
Right.
So yeah, there was pressure from them as well.
Right.
That's not a secret. And also like the stress levels of running that company in those times was extremely high. So being given the opportunity to become the chairman and not be involved in the day-to-day, that was very attractive at the time. I'm not gonna, and actually my life became so much better.
In what way?
I had so much less stress. I mean, I've done the hard bit. I've come up with the idea. I've organized the funding. I've done everything, I put the vision. I shouldn't be the one running it.
Take me to the morning of February 10th, the morning of the IPO.
I wasn't planning to be there on February 10th, but...
You weren't even planning to be
No.
on the trading room floor that day?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't.
Why would you think that you didn't need to be
I
there?
don't know. I've never done an IPO before.
I feel like you don't need to do an IPO
yeah.
to know that
Yeah,
as the founder you needed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be there.
I'm doing the IPO, but I'm not continuing in the journey.
But it's yours.
Yeah,
it's
it
the
doesn't
brand
matter.
that you dreamt of.
I'm the founder forever.
Okay, and then you
You
woke
know.
up, and what was going through your head when you woke up?
What am I going to wear? I don't wear suits, and it wasn't what I was expecting. So like when I went in and there were all these like flags of Gourmet and and then the press and and all the people there, it was a bit overwhelming, and my parents were there. I was very happy that they came.
Does a day like that make you kind of look back on your life and look back on your journey?
100%. I just counted my blessings. I just said, that was very lucky. Could have gone a million ways. I mean, I had much bigger plans for Gourmet that maybe weren't achieved.
Such as?
No, it would, to be a much bigger business in the region.
A global brand?
Yeah, in the region, yeah. Not even necessarily global, but at least regionally.
Okay. Does that still sting a little? Do you think
No,
about that?
no.
You're not that person.
I'm not that kind of person that I don't care.
You've had the most extraordinary story, trajectory. It's a kind of entrepreneurial journey that really is, it's like those best stories, and it's full of adventure and excitement and so many interesting people and so many things and surprises, and you stood on that trading floor and you IPO'd for 2.5 billion on the Egyptian Stock Exchange. Why are you doing this now?
Why am I doing this now? Because I love it. I love doing this.